All right, on this warm-up, it asks you to find the GCF of each row and column. So what we're going to look at here, I want you to look in these two right here. What is the greatest common factor? Does 6 go into 8? No. Well, you have 6 and 3, or 2 and 3. Does 3 go into 8? No. 2 does though, right? So 2, and you've got 2 x's and 1 x. So I need to pull out one of the x's. If I look in these two right here, these two rows, what's the GCF out of these two terms? Does 3 go into 4? No. Well, the only thing in common are the x's, right? So I'd put an x right here. Out of these two columns, right here, what's the GCF? 3 goes into both of them, and they both have an x. What about out of these two? No, not 2. 4. 4 goes into 4. 4 goes into 8. That's going to be one of the mistakes you guys are going to do. You're going to think that take 8 divided by 4 and get 2. Okay? 4 goes into both of them, so this is a 4, and there's also an x in both of them. Okay. So now, I want you, these are the factors. I want you to find the product right now. What do you need to do to set up to find the product? What do I draw first? The what? The box. It's a 2 by 2. Two by 2, remember? And we're going to put 2x minus 5 and x plus 7. Okay? So in this box right here, I take 2x times 1x, and I should get 2x squared. Remember, x times x is x squared. 2x times 7, 14x. Right here, negative 5 times x, negative 5x. Negative 5 times 7, negative 35. To find my product, remember I've got 2x squared. I don't have any other x squareds. Add your x's together right here. 14 minus 5, 9x, and then minus 35. And how do I check to make sure that this is right? What do you do in the calculator? Put the factors in y1, what you think the answer is in y2, and you're going to press second graph, remember? And when you look in there, all the numbers, remember it goes x, y1, y2. All the numbers in y1 have to equal y2. They have to be the exact same. Okay? Let's try one more of these before we get started on the factoring. There are your factors. Find the product. All right, this one, again, it's a 2 by 2, remember? So I'm going to make two rows and 2 columns. I've got 3x minus 2 and 2x plus 4. So 3x times 2x, 6x squared, 3x times 4, 12x, not 7, 12x. Remember, 4 times 3. Negative 2 times 2, negative 4x. Negative 2 times 4, negative 8. So now to find our product, I'm going to go right here and I'm going to add these two x's together. I have 6x squared 12 minus 4, 8x minus 8. Now, we went and we talked about the checking, but now what we're going to do in this unit is we're factoring. We're going to take our product, okay, so we're going to have to figure out what goes inside this box, and we're going to come up with our factors. So looking right here, okay, I want you to watch what I'm doing on this one. I talked about this yesterday. The first thing you need to do is figure out in these terms if there's a GCF. That's the first thing we do. So as I'm looking, I'm going to look and see if I can pull something out. So I've got the smallest number is a 2. Does 2 go into 6? Yes. Does 2 go into 4? Okay, so that's my GCF. I'm going to pull the 2 out. Remember, this is like yesterday where we divided everything by 2. 2 divided by 2 is 1, so I get an x squared. 6 divided by 2, 3x. 4 divided by 2 plus 2. All right, and I said yesterday, then we're going to learn how to factor this right here. Okay? My end answer is going to look like this. I leave my GCF 2 outside, and then information is going to be it's going to be split up into these two factors right here. So first off, what always went up here in the top left corner when we multiplied? The x squared. So I've got x squared will go right here. Down here was always the what? Just the number, right? The plus or minus. So it's the plus 2 right here. So I'm going to put plus 2. What went in these two boxes? The x's. So I know I'm going to have something x and something x. Now, what number's in front of this x squared right here? A 1. You're going to take this coefficient times this number. What is 1 times 2? It's 2. What are the factors of 2? 1 and 2, and -1 and -2. Okay? If I add these up together, just like we do right here, when I add them up, they have to equal the middle number. Well, if I add 1 plus 2, that gives me 3. What if I added these two together? -3, right? That doesn't work. These right here, this is my factor. So I'll put a 1 and I'll put a 2. It doesn't matter which order you put these in at. Okay? How does x squared split up? X and x. Now, when it's x's, it's normally easier to think of it like a puzzle. X times what gives you 1x? 1. So this would be a plus 1. Down here, x times what gives you 2x? Plus 2. So it's going to be x plus 2 times x plus 1. That's my factored form. To check this, though, make sure you go up here to the original problem, right here. You put the original problem into y1, and this one right here into y2. And then you're going to double check and make sure you did yours correctly. Don't worry. You're not going to get it on the first try. Here we go. Let's do the next one. Okay. Write this down on your paper. And first step 1 is to do what? Factor out the GCF. Okay, so do that now and write what's left. Okay, so when I look here for my GCF, I look at 9. Does 9 go into 39? It does evenly? No, it doesn't, because 39 divided by 9 gives you a decimal. What are the other factors of 9? 3 and 3, right? Does 3 go into 39 evenly? Yes, and it goes into 12. So I'm going to pull out a 3. And so I'm going to write what's left. So that means, remember, I'm going to divide everything by 3. 12 divided by 3, 4x squared. 39 divided by 3, 13x. 9 divided by 3, 3. Okay, so now what I'm going to do is I'm going to factor out I'm going to use the box to factor what is inside the parentheses right here. Always in the top left-hand corner goes my x squareds. So it says 4x squared. That goes here. Bottom right is always that number at the end, plus 3. These two boxes, something x, something x. Now, I told you we need to multiply these two numbers right here. You take 4 times 3. It gives you 12. I need the factors of 12. Well, I have 1 and 12, 2 and 6, 3 and 4. I'm going to show you a trick to all these, or how to find them in the calculator in a little bit. But and they could be, you guys need to remember, they can be -1, -12, -2, -6, -3, and -4, because negative times a negative gives you a positive, right? Okay, you need to look at the sign in here. See, when I go back and we go back and watch that Teach Me How to Factor video, you're going to see some of these rules. They have that in the video. So it's a plus sign, so I need to be a positive 13. Well, when I add these two together, what do I get? Positive 13. See, I don't really have to go any farther because as soon as I found it, I stopped. These are the factors I will use. So I'm going to put a 1 and a 12 in there. You could have put the 12 up here and the 1 down there. That doesn't matter. The problem is that 4x squared, okay, 4x squared can split up as either 4x times x, or what else? What else multiplies together to give you 4? 2x times 2x. We don't know which one that is. That's why we do the GCF. Out of these two boxes right here, out of these two boxes, what is the GCF? A 1 what? A 1x. I'm just going to put an x here. So look, which one of these has a 1x? This one does. The other one up here would have to be 4x, because out of these two, what's the GCF? Out of 3, a 4 and a 4 goes into 4. That's why I'm saying be very careful. You remember, you have to see if this number goes into that one. Okay? Now, x times what gives you 1x? Plus 1. 4 times what gives you 12? 3. So now you leave your GCF out here out front, and then let's write our factors in on the sides here. X plus 3 and 4x plus 1. This is the factored form right here. To check it, you would put this original problem up here into y1. What you believe the answer is right here into y2. Second graph, and all of y1 and y2 should be the same. All right, erase your boards. Let's try this one. Step 1 is to factor out the GCF. What number's in front of this x squared? If it's just an x squared, there is no GCF. Okay? So there's nothing for us to look at. So now, let's go, and I've got, oh, golly. I don't know if I can move this down. Let me see if I can move it down. Yep, there we go. Okay, what goes in this top part of the box? X squared. What goes down here in the bottom right? Plus 6. These are something x, something x. This is like a 1 here. 1 times 6 is what? 1 times 6 is 6. I need the factors of 6. 1 and 6. -1, -6. I think I heard it. 2 and 3. -2, -3. I need my factors to add up together to get this middle term. Why? Because we're adding them up right here when we're normally trying to find our product? Well, if I add these together, I get 7. If I add these, I get -7. Add these, 5. Okay, so these are my factors. So I'm going to put a 2 and a 3. Get rid of this right here. Oh, didn't mean to get rid of that x squared. Now this isn't too bad. How does x squared split up? X and x, right? X times what is 2x? Plus 2. X times what is 3x? Plus 3. So my factors are x plus 3 times x plus 2. To check it, the original problem in y1, your answer that you think it is in y2. And you want to check each and every one, making sure that you did it correctly, and also make sure you didn't forget to put on your GCF. Okay, let's try this one. Take a minute, try this one, same steps, and let's see what happens. Okay, on this one, first off, is there a GCF? No. So I can go straight down here to the box and put x squared in the upper left-hand corner, right? Down here, 6, something x, something x. Multiply, there's a 1 right there, multiply these two numbers. 1 times 6 is 6. I need the factors of 6. 1 and 6, -1, -6, 2 and 3, -2, -3. What do my factors have to add up together to be? Make sure it's -7, right? If I add these together, I get +7. Add these together, this will be -7. This is what I need right here. -1 and -6. Okay, so now, get rid of this the red part right there. X squared is easy to split up. It should go x and x. X times what is -1x? -1. X times what gives you -6? -6. There's my factors. X minus 6 times x, oh, not a comma. Try again. X minus 1. That's my factors. Those are my factors. Ugh. Looking at this one. What's step 1? GCF. Okay, that's my hint to you. Go ahead. I'm going to pause, and I want you guys to go ahead and try and work this one out. Okay, first off, GCF. I look here in a 6. Okay, I know 6 doesn't go into 15. So then I think the next factor that's in there is 3. Does 3 go into all 3 of them? Sure does. So I'm going to have 3, and I pull out the GCF. So I divide everything, every term, by 3. 15 divided by 3, 5x squared. 33 divided by 3, 11x. 6 divided by 3, 2. This is what goes in the box, okay? But my answer's got to have the 3 in front of it. So it's going to be don't forget the 3. That'll be something that happens a lot. So now when I go to use the box, I'm going to put the 5x squared in the upper left-hand corner, the 2 in the bottom, something x, something x. Okay, so all I did was pulled out the GCF, filled in with the box with what I knew. The next step is to multiply these two numbers. 5 times 2. 5 times 2 is 10. I need the factors of 10. 1 and 10, -1, -10, 2 and 5, -2 and -5. I need them to add up together to get my middle number right here. So if I add these two together, 1 plus 10 is 11. I don't need to go any farther because I already found them. So I will put the 1 and I'll put the 10 in there. Now, lost my x there. Now 5x squared, the only way it splits up is 5x and x. The problem is you got to figure out where it goes at. Okay, if I put the 5x here, if you don't understand the GCFs, if I put the 5x here and the x here, 5x times what gives you 1x? Can you do that? No, not with an even number. So that should tell you that the 5x doesn't go there. You should also be able to see that out of these two boxes right here, what's the GCF? 1x. And so up top will be the 5x. Well, x times what gives you 1x plus 1. 5 times what gives you 10x plus 2. So I'm going to have x plus 2 times 5x plus 1. Remember to check it. You need to use the original problem up here. The original problem goes into y1, and this whole answer right here goes into y2. Our next one. Try this one. Remember, step 1, find the GCF. All right, step 1. You should have looked for the GCF. I know, I know that 16 does not go into 25. I want to remind you that to find your GCF with the calculator, we could go over here. Oh, get rid of that. There we go. Remember, you can go to math, arrow over to number, 9 for GCD. I'll put in there 25, comma, 16. Enter. Oh, the GCF is 1. So there's nothing that goes into them? Oh, well, that's yucky. All right, well, then let's start from there. There's no GCF. So we'll go here, and I'm going to put 25x squared into the first box, 16 into down here. I've got something x and something x. Well, you're supposed to multiply 25 and 16. Let's see, 25 times 16. Even I don't know that off the top of my head, so I'll come down here. And, okay, let's see here. 25 times 16, 400, right? So I need the factors of, oh my, it's going crazy here. Oh, what just happened? That's stinky. Let's see if I can pull it back up here. All right, right here. Let's try that again without me closing it all out. 25x squared and 16 something x, something x. I've got 400. I need the factors of 400. What I was trying to do is this. One of the ways you can find your factors without trying to remember them all is to go to y equals. Okay? Put that 400 in here, and you're going to go divide by x. Okay? 400, whatever you multiply together, 400 in this case, divided by x. Second graph. 0 is always going to give you an error because 400 divided by 0, you can't divide by 0. But the first factors are 1 and 400. If I add these together, does it give me 40? No. 2 and 200. That's 202. So I can go down here. 4 plus 100 is 104. 8 plus 5 is 85. Oh, there's 8 and 50. Add those together, that's 58. 10 plus 40, 50. I'm still not where I need to be. I'm looking for my whole numbers. What's 15 plus 25? Does that equal 40? No, that equals 41. 20 and 20 is what it's going to end up being right here, because when you add 20 and 20, that'll give you 40. But 20 times 20 is 400. Okay, so the factors are going to be 20 and 20. I'm going to put those here. Now, 25x squared is going to split up as 1 and 25 or 5 and 5. Out of these two boxes, what is the GCF? Does 25 go into 20? No. But 5 does. 5 goes into both of them. So this is going to be a 5x and a 5x. Now, 5 times what gives me 20? Plus 4. 5 times what gives me 20? Plus 4. So my answer is 5x plus 4 times 5x plus 4. Is there another way I can write that? Yeah, 5x plus 4, the whole thing squared. Okay?